We today are going to be covering LinkedIn automation tool set and that we've used in the past that I've actually just restarted using myself just now in the last 3 days. And it's worked pretty well for us. In fact, I think I even have, I'll just find it real quick, a LinkedIn outreach campaign doc of what I've done in the past, so I can actually reference some of that, and I'll have some real data. So if you've seen this information before, cool, but you may have not seen the tool that we use, and I'm not necessarily given a specific training on the tool. And in all fairness, they have a nice little tutorial video built into their tool, so I'm not going to try to present it all myself. I'll actually use part of their content for today. Let me go ahead and share my screen, and I'll get you guys a link because I do think they give me a little affiliate link, so it saves you guys 5%, and I make a little money, so that's not too bad. It's in the chat. If you guys want to click on that, save it. The program here is gohypersphere.com. It costs $99 a month for this tool to automate LinkedIn outreach. And you'll also need a LinkedIn Sales Navigator account, which is there's like a trial at first. I think it's like 14-day free trial, something like that. Maybe it's 30. But after that, LinkedIn Sales Navigator is $99. So total tech stack to automate LinkedIn that you're looking at, $200. And let's be honest, you get 1-2 appointments out of an automated thing happening, as long as they're quality appointments and not wasting your time, then that's very, very, very cost effective. And I often have found that you can get way more than that, because this thing just handles doing outreach for you and sending messages every single day, connection requests every single day. The only thing you have to do is kind of hop in and someone responds. So the way this tool works is it will send stuff, and then when someone responds, it stops. You take over. So if they just say, hey, nice, thanks for connecting, if you had a whole thing after that, it won't send the whole thing after that, just because they have in fact engaged and responded. And so it doesn't want to make you look silly. So let me go ahead and share with you guys their little tutorial video, which I think does a good job of just breaking very simply, like within a couple of minutes, you could have something out there that's working on getting appointments for you. I will quickly note before this starts, and I use this phrase a lot, but junk in, junk out. So it very much matters the kind of contacts you're reaching out to. And so you might want to spend a little bit of time filtering the actual contact lists instead of just being like, oh, cool, just, connect with everybody that meets this criteria. One, you'll waste people's time. You'll look kind of like a spammer, and I don't want you to look like that. And two, you'll end up with people that take your time and take the meeting anyway, and they shouldn't, because they're not actually a quality prospect. So if you just make sure that you've got quality prospects coming in to this this funnel, it's good. So I'll also share with you guys today some messaging I've used in the past. I'll share with you a strategy I'm testing right now. I'm only 3 days into it. I don't know how it's going to work, but I'll just tell you what I'm doing anyway. And hopefully that inspires some thoughts. So let me go ahead and play his little tutorial video. Did expand earlier.
Did you share with sound?
No, I didn't. Thank you. Why are you not expanding? That just takes me to the vineyard. Not helpful. What? I'm gonna do it this way. then I'll stop sharing and I'll reshare and I'll have computer sounds.
Hi, my name is Braden, CEO of Hypersphere.
Hear it?
Wanted to build with you your very first campaign, a quick start to getting Hypersphere going. You're in the platform. Let's begin with the magic. There's a lot more from there, but I'm excited to get this started with you. So if you come into Hypersphere, first thing you'll see is your dashboard. We're going to make a couple of edits here. Profile settings. If you come over to profile settings and go to your LinkedIn account limit, this is where you can adjust all of this. You can take a screenshot of exactly what I have here. These are the settings that I use, and all of our team uses as well. Great settings to be had.
So when you obviously get into the platform, you'll still have access to this video. So if you don't snapshot that right now, you'll have access to the video.
To get a campaign going, first thing that we need to do is we need to come over on the left and we need to click on search. This is how we bring new people from a variety of different places into Hypersphere. So for example, here, I have a search here. This is all Hypersocial employees. It's a sales navigator search. Once I click on search and I've clicked on add new search, you can name the search whatever you want, and you can use a variety of ways to bring in a search. You've got basic searches, sales navigator searches. If you want to import context from a CSV, people who engage with the post, people who are in a group, an event that you're also attending. Let's do this. Let's do test search. You're going to put that URL in there. I chose sales navigator search. I'm going to click on search. So as this begins to populate, you'll see it all fill in here. Next thing that we're going to do, while that's populating, now you can bring up to 2,500 people. You can use a search from Sales Navigator of up to 2,500 people at once, which is basically the same as Sales Navigator's restrictions, which is 100 pages of 25 each. Now what we need to do from that search is we need to create a campaign. So we've got a lot of variety of campaigns here. My favorite one is Campaign Builder, but for this example, we're going to use a connector campaign. So a connector campaign is going to reach out to people who are not connected with you. It's going to try to connect, and once they've connected, it's going to send follow-up messages. So let's do test campaign, Hypersocial. I'm going to click on next. You can use a template if there are templates there. Otherwise, you can create one without a template. Right now, I'm just going to create one without a template. From here, it's very simple. Once this loads, this campaign has been created, and here's what we need to do. So these are our steps. We got a few different tabs up here. Steps is going to be the first thing that we're going to want to edit. So this is going to be connection request. And this is also going to be an alternative connection request. Sometimes people have a little bit lower limit on the amount of characters they can use in their connection request. So fill those both in. Once that's set up, you're going to send follow-up messages. So this is going to be follow-up message 1. That will only try to follow up once they've connected. So if they do not accept the connection request, it will not send these follow-up messages. You can send up to as many of those as you want. Once you have all of those created, so I'll just put follow-up message 2 here. You can then click apply, which will save all those settings. You can adjust your settings here on how fast you want this campaign to go. So you can send up to 100 connection requests per day, as well as send up to 100 follow-up messages per day. Make sure after you do that, you click apply. Then what you'll do is you'll actually click this status button and you'll turn it on. From there, all that we need to do is we need to come back to our search. It's okay that I have unsaved changes. You're going to come back to that search. Once that search is fully loaded, that test search that I did, once that's fully loaded with people, and you'll see this start to work, you can then click on that search. So I'm just going to use this April test for example, and we are going to then click on actions, and we are going to assign filtered contacts to a campaign. I'm going to select the test campaign that I just created. Once I put those people into that test campaign, you'll see this start to fill up. Because you have it turned on, give it a bit of time to start to propagate, start to plan out the tasks. In order to see what's actually working here, you can actually see what tasks are upcoming, what tasks are in the past. Then you'll start to see this dashboard upload with information. Now, that is the basic creation of a new connector campaign, which is only allowed to target second or third degree connections, tries to get them connected, and then sends follow-up messages. To look more into our campaigns types, our different searches, and a lot more of the Hypersphere things that you can do, please check into our knowledge base. Please feel free to use our.
So in essence, that was just like, I wanted to give you guys super quick and show that it takes no time at all to set this stuff up. Once you've got your search kind of filtered, you've got messaging written out, you click go on this guy and it's starting to send stuff for you right away. So honestly, an hour and a half of work and you've got LinkedIn working on your behalf. And I love, love, love anytime I can have something that's working on my behalf when I'm sleeping, generating me leads. So, and the nice thing about this and why I actually like to teach this to other agency owners is other things can be expensive. So, you know, if you don't have a whole lot of cash flow, especially if you're a startup agency, for $200 a month, you can have something that very consistently is performing for you. I'm a big fan of LinkedIn automation. I'm a big fan of cold email. Anything that works for you, even though you're asleep, that doesn't cost you for, you know, every click or, you know, is a long-term play for SEO or things of that nature. So this type of stuff, these two pieces, LinkedIn automation and cold email, is a great way to launch new agency, get to $10,000 a month. And then you start going, oh, cool, let me reinvest cash flow. Let's, you know, execute some of the Facebook ad strategies that Mike's taught, or, you know, invest in that long-term SEO play, or invest into Google ads, things like that. But those type of things I kind of recommend as stage 2, just because they do take a regular investment. It takes time to figure out what works and what doesn't work. Whereas, you know, tech stack for this is pretty inexpensive. So I gave you guys the link to that, but let me go ahead, and I don't want to just leave you with that.
Live chat, and we will get back to you. And
I did not mean restart.
Let's get your LinkedIn automated.
All right, cool. Don't want to just leave you with the tool. Also want to show you a campaign that we ran, messaging that we used, how it worked, what the ROI was. This was back in 2021 that I did this particular campaign. I'm starting a new one, and I'll tell you a little bit about it. But again, that's in test mode. This is more proven. So I'd love to just tell you about this one. This document you guys should have access to as a partner. If you don't have access to this, let me know. I'm happy to get you access to it. Should have come with your onboarding docs. If for whatever reason it's not there, let me know. But this is LinkedIn outreach campaign information, April to June 2021. We invested. So by the way, I didn't just buy the tech stack back then. I actually had somebody just set the stuff up for us. They did not have the software available. I was paying for them to do all this for us. So you guys are, my previous recommendation before was like, go hire these guys and it's like $1,000 a month. Now I just know that, hey, you can get the tool from them and set it up yourself in DIY. And so it's even less expensive, which is really nice. But for us, when we initially did this, we paid them. They did it as a done for you service, $1,000 a month, 3 months of the campaign. We ran a LinkedIn messaging campaign targeting agency owners. So if you're going B2B, this can apply quite nicely. It translates nicely. If you're in the B2B market, B2C is probably a little bit tougher on LinkedIn. Just being real about what that looks like. Doesn't mean it can't be done. There are plenty of people that are B2C that are still on LinkedIn. But B2B is probably the best, you know, segment that can really use this. Connection requests. We sent a little over 3,000 connection requests over those 3 months. 3,000 connection requests a month for 3 months. So 9,078 connection requests were sent out during this. 1,665 people accepted that connection requests. Cool. 18.3% connection request acceptance rate. So just so you know, this is why I actually teach the automation of this versus manual. Because manual, yes, you can customize your messaging just a little bit more. But the fact is you're going to have to click something 5 times before you get somebody to say yes and even connect with you, not to mention message you back. So having something that helps you automatically do this is going to it's going to value your time. It's worth that, you know, a couple $100 to make this thing go for you automatically. We, out of the campaign, generated 61 appointments. 7 of them were, which I teach about, centers of influence. So we got 7 centers of influence that work with agencies, and we built some good win-win referral relationships. We did some podcast appearances. They came and talked to our masterminds. We came and talked to their groups, or showed up on their podcast. We did some co-sponsored webinars, and then the rest were agencies that were interested in what we have to say. With 9,078 connection requests being sent out and 61 appointments, this gives us a 0.67% request to appointment rate. So this is further down the funnel. This is why I teach automating this again, like just kind of hammering that. Like, this is a lot of manual work if you're really just trying to manually connect, and you're hoping for meetings. You perhaps could have a slightly better percentage because of just the manual nature of the very customized nature, but probably going to be in a very similar range. Okay. Of the 1,665 people who accept our connection request, 61 set appointment, this resulted in 3.6% connection request acceptance to appointment. So you can see how that math breaks down. So the cost per appointment, with an investment of $3,000, 61 appointments generated, we ended up with $49.18 per appointment. I'm happy with that. I would have been even happier if I could actually have had the access to the tool and not pay for a done-for-you service and just set it up, because now I know, and now I have access to this stuff. So what would that have really been for us if I had just set it all up myself? A couple hours of work. I was handling the responses anyway. They weren't doing that for me. I was responding back to people that were responding to us in the messaging. So let's say it was $200 a month. So it's $600. Let's do the real math on what it would have been for you guys. $600, 61 appointments. It would have been $9.83 per appointment. I'm not unhappy with $49 per appointment, but $9 per appointment, heck yeah, I'm really happy with that. So, and this was our target market. We were talking to the right people because we've made sure we filtered the list before we even started messaging. Okay. And then for us, we generated $7,275 in sales to date from that investment. I could probably go back and update this, because what we do is we get partners that bring us more and more business over the course of time. This number's grown. I guarantee it. Right. We closed some partners, and then, they brought deals over the course of time. But for you guys, lifetime value is going to look really good when you're just going after, here's a client. They sign up for $2,000 a month, $2,500 a month, $3,000 a month, etc. That lifetime value is going to look pretty good. So what I could say about our ROI is that was a 242% return on investment. And if I had the cool tools and not paid done for you, that'd be even a nicer ROI. So if you're not doing this, there's really no reason. You should be doing this at some level, just some level. And it doesn't have to be you personally. If you got a salesperson, you can automate theirs. I will say it was, and this is kind of in the message or in the information below, it probably does have an impact on acceptance rate when you have a VP title or a CEO title, versus, hey, I'm a sales rep. So if you were to automate a sales rep, your connection request, the data is probably going to change significantly, right? Everybody's like, oh yeah, this guy's trying to just sell me something real quick, versus I'm connecting with the CEO or I'm connecting with a VP, etc. So information about the campaign, just told you we're using VP Market Sales LinkedIn account. Profile is fully filled out, optimized. Headline specifically talking about the value we bring to the industry we work with. So that headline is so important. Make sure it's got your value prop right in your headline. What are you here for? Because that shows, like, they hover over your LinkedIn account when they see your message. It'll show your headline, and that's going to sell them or not on whether they accept the connection request more than the message itself. Like, the message itself has an impact, but the headline is really your sales opportunity. Say, hey, this is what I do. We use this headline. We provide the most scalable white label digital marketing solutions to agencies, SEO, PPC, social media, reputation management, email marketing, more. So we're like, this is what we do. All right. Just called it out. Recommend our partners test headlines around the free work, free competitor analysis verbiage that we provide in our scripts. So you can specifically call out that offer. Or if you have niche down, or even if you haven't niche down as a business, you can niche down your LinkedIn outreach and its messaging, right? So even if your business accepts all sorts of different folks, you could run a campaign targeted at, you know, a specific demographic and go, or a specific industry, and niche down your headline and your offer. And then for that to change in a month or 2 months or in a couple of weeks, you go, okay, cool, that worked or it didn't work, and you want to try a different industry. Just because your industry or your agency isn't niche doesn't mean the offer and your information couldn't be niched for that campaign. So think about that. This is the messaging we used. Super straightforward. Hi, name. I'd like to connect and learn more about you and your company. Simple. Just keep it simple. First message since after they accepted the connection request. Hey, name. It's great to connect. So I'd like to get to know folks I'm connected with. Would you be open to have a 5 to 10 minute networking call? I knew who we were connecting with. I knew the fact that I would be open to having a networking call. So I was okay with just offering that out right from the very beginning. You know, second message was super simple and sounds really casual and doesn't sound like a, you know, let me blow. By the way, sentences, one sentence, you know, 3 sentences, but short, right? This is very informal and looks like, hey, you know, yeah, someone would totally write thoughts, question mark, pointing up to the previous message. You know, that doesn't sound like a, you don't blow them with the whole sales pitch. I've connected with so many people that just, boom, here's my whole sales pitch and every service I could ever offer you, and you should talk to me today. And no, I'm not talking to you. So you're not making it about a service, you're making it about networking, being curious. And then here, this was pretty interesting. Record a video of yourself, send it introducing yourself, what you're all about, asking them to share about themselves. Should just be really warm and inviting, not salesy. It's not a pitch. It's a video to share about yourself, an invitation for you to just simply get to know each other on a networking call. That very friendly, open approach, and you got to show up that way too when they actually do take the call, right? So if you're like, boom, let's go into a sales pitch, you know, that's a big turn off. Whereas if you just show up interested in just getting to know them, just interested in understanding who they are and their business, what makes them tick, and how can you bring them value, and if one of your services brings them value, great. I mean, obviously that's what we did with some of them, right? It's cool. Like to talk about that. So I kind of left it as a short little, this is what we do. Want to talk about it further? You do, cool. We have another meeting. We don't. Well, hey, can I connect you to this person? Can I do this for you? Or, you know, hey, this cool resource I ran into, you know, I think you should, you know, check it out. And just had those type of conversations, and I think those lead to meaningful connections, right? It's not a sales pitch off of the very first meeting. It's a get to know you session. When it was time to schedule a meeting, when they responded with interest in having the networking call, we were suggesting we then send them a Calendly page that had this messaging in it. Let's get to know each other. Love to see what I can be of value to anyone in my network. Whether that means we work together or introduce you to someone, relationships make the world go round. That was actually when they click on the Calendly, that's what it said when it came to booking their meeting. So they can know, like, hey, this is the kind of meeting I'm about to have. And I tried to live up to that. If I could make an introduction or anything that I could do just to make it a valuable meeting, that's how I showed up to that meeting. My goal was to always make it so you met me, you know what I offer. If it makes sense to talk more about what we offer, great, we do that. If not, you're still glad you took the 15 minutes to meet me because it was a nice meeting and I gave you something to take away. So
Feasible.
Additional tips. Okay, cool. Approach with the desire to help, not sell. Headlines filled out, profiles are key. Keep the messaging short. Kind of covered all that as we're going. And then I, you know, who automated the campaign for us? You know, I gave a link off to them. So if you want it done for you, you can. But let's be honest, this stuff does not take long to set up. Buy the software. That's probably the best thing for you. There you go. That's my little spiel. I hope that helps. Oh, I did say I was going to tell you what I'm doing now. So we're deciding we're going to reach out to a specific industry and just testing some stuff. I'm and testing some messaging of, hey, I'm building a community and for that industry. And I'm actually sending them over to a Facebook group. So I'm going to see how well that converts. I don't know, whether how many, I don't know the conversion rate of like, hey, I'm on LinkedIn and you're sending me to a Facebook group. Don't know, but there's a specific reason that I want to do that. And that is I like the functionality of Facebook groups better. When they go to join the group, I can ask 3 questions. One of them being, hey, do you want a free competitor analysis? So I can turn an MQL into an SQL of, hey, yeah, they want to have a meeting with us. 2, I love Facebook groups because now I can constantly market to them for forever by posting valuable content in that group. And then 3, because I want to specifically be able to market to this industry, if you own a Facebook group with a lot of professionals in it related to a specific industry, you can target that group with ads. You can make lookalike audiences off of that group because you own it. So if you're trying to really make a mark in a specific industry, owning a Facebook group with a lot of people from that industry is pretty powerful as a back end for your Facebook ads and lookalike audiences. So there you go.